Hey, what's up again? I was thinking, like, you know what? I should probably do another video, and why not? I'm back in this room thing. I was thinking about it. I was talking to like friends and stuff like that about perspective and how important that is, and like finding new perspective through loss, through like difficult times, and like how it's strange that the moments that break you down, the moments that are the toughest in life, are the ones that kind of ultimately help you, and they help you in ways that kind of can just be here, or can be like in the outside life, or da da da. But it's just, I don't know, there's a lot. But I don't know, just going back to like 2020, I remember the way I just looked at life, the way I went about myself before losing like, the biggest part of myself was very much like, I don't know, it was like limiting. It was very much like down on myself. I struggled with a lot of stuff about like insecurities when it comes to like being really skinny or tiny, or not really, people were not really caring to be friends, or like obviously like nothing to do with like relationships or anything, because no one was interested in a tiny, small, skinny, shy kid. Like that just doesn't happen. So I had all these major insecurities. So once that happened and the flatline and didn't feel emotions, stuff like that, it gave me the time to kind of rethink the way I was doing myself, because I'm like, oh okay, because I was thinking like, okay, so this life is a lot tougher now, so I can't afford to go by doing what I was doing before. Like I gotta be serious. I gotta have like fix my perspective and really like think better about myself, rather than being all down on myself and being all worried and being all focused on the dumb thing. Now I'm like, I gotta focus on this stuff, or I'm going to go off the rails, and I don't know if I can survive that. So doing that really kind of set a ball rolling, and I don't know if it takes a loss like a big loss like that for perspective to change. Maybe it could just be circumstances, I don't know, like, but for me that's what it was. And the more I realized is the way you frame yourself in your mind, like the way you think of yourself, it really doesn't matter what you are. Like obviously that it does matter a little bit, but like it's the way you frame and think about yourself that determines how you can kind of feel when things come in the way of, like, let's say there's people talking badly about you. Let's see, oh, you mess up at this, or you do wrong at this, or you do great, or it kind of affects that. And for me, I've always struggled with like giving myself kudos. Like obviously don't have an ego or pride or anything, but I always just would be razor focused on the stuff I did wrong, and always harboring the things I'm doing wrong and the things I'm not right and stuff like that. And maybe it was trying to be good enough for like the friends and stuff like that I didn't really have, or maybe it was other stuff. But I remember focusing on that, and the second that I started like kind of dying to that version of myself and building up a new version of myself that I actually like, I like myself, it started helping, because failure or whatever, because there isn't really failure, but in terms of this, failure, as soon as the loss stuff happened, failure came right back around and heavier than ever. So it was like I just kept messing up. I kept trying to do things to try and fill that void in my life, and everything just didn't work. Like it just didn't. So that's what the failure I'm talking about mainly is that I just went out, was like doing all this stuff, and it just wasn't doing it. And what's interesting is the failure kind of kept pushing my comfort zone and pushing me to try new things and do new things. And the new perspective of myself allowed me to do the stuff, instead of being worried or let anxiety, let fear and that stuff keep me back, and like try new things, like start a YouTube channel, or start writing, or start talking about my feelings, start talking about the way I felt, which was something I never did. And that took a lot of time to get to. Like it was up until like a year or two ago. But like it just, by having that like just confidence in myself, or in just the process of life, it helped a lot in gaining that new perspective of where like, you know what, hey, I got this body, I'm gonna do as best as I can. Sure, like I just can't, you can't like waste time thinking about stuff you can't control. Like it's just not worth it. It's gonna like just break you down. So I just, ever since then, I've just been kind of trying to think of, okay, you know what, SHIT sucks. a lot of the past 4 or 5 years of my life, it's been kind of tough. Like it's not, like it's obviously it's important, it's what I need to go through, it's valuable and stuff, but in terms of feeling, in terms of a lot of stuff, it's been really tough. It would easily have killed me or whatever that stuff if I didn't believe there was a process to it. And that's part of why the perspective is so important. Having that perspective, believe in myself, confidence, all that stuff is a necessity in a time like this. That's probably why I developed it why it was a thing that I needed to develop. But I don't think it has to be like when you're like borderline suicidal. Like I don't think that's how it has to happen. But what I realized is like the more I've dived in and done that stuff, I'm like, oh, if I just felt good about myself and confident, like back when, I would have been light years better back when. It's now I'm doing it in a time where I need it desperately, and it feels like I'm just clinging on. But the more and more kind of develop that new perspective and new way of just living life and kind of just taking it day by day, because I used to have all this anxiety worrying about what could happen in the future, what could happen this, and obviously still have anxiety when it comes to certain things, like there's still things with like speaking in front of people or this or that I'm like, okay, I still have anxiety. Like I have anxiety about like stuff in my car because I don't know, or I'm like, oh, I don't know if I want to, do I have to like pay this or like there's still anxieties that's not even remotely close to what it was before, but it's still a thing. But I'm not letting it dictate me anymore. And I think being present and thinking good enough about myself kind of helps that, and I think that could apply to like anyone, because truly if you think high enough about yourself to where you're like, you know what, I'm gonna do the best I can do, I'm gonna just live my life out, help people, just be a person that I want to be friends with. Kind of, I feel like people have said that quote a bunch, but if you just do that and take it day by day, take the process, and just really think about life in terms of, okay, whatever happens, I'm just going to live through it, going to do my best through it, and I am who I am. You really can't go wrong. Like, life may get a lot tougher when you start implementing this stuff, or at least for me, but you can't go wrong. And what it's taught me is that I can do a lot more than I thought, and it really doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. It doesn't matter it doesn't really matter what the circumstances are in a lot of ways. I mean, they have an effect, but it's like you can go through really tough times and still not go off the rails. You could go through tough times and still be working on yourself and still like achieving things and doing things while it's really tough, because of the fact that you're just taking life as it comes instead of worrying and being so consumed with stuff that's not in the present. The present, we can all handle the present. When we're in the present, we can handle it, and that's usually when you're happy and all that stuff. You can be in the present, and obviously you can handle that. So you can handle stuff, but it's when you bring all this unnecessary junk and stuff like that, it kind of fogs it. And that's why perspective is so important, because when you have at least somewhat confidence or belief in yourself and all that stuff, it's then you're not really worried about what's to come and stuff like that. You're just like focused on what's now and trying to be present, trying to be like in whatever's happening, even if that happening is not exactly fun. Like you kind of just take it and you kind of see like little nuggets of, oh, you know what, I never would have thought of that, or oh, I can't believe I'm doing this, or it kind of makes more sense when you're able to be focused on it, to where you're not like part of you is not in the future and part of you is not in the past. Like you're kind of all central. So when your whole like energy or focus or whatever, it's a lot easier to see things and kind of be I don't know, a part of the process of life, and like see the beauty in it, and the beauty in the tough, the beauty in the good, the beauty in the whatever it is, the unknowns. And so to any of you guys out there struggling, don't know what's next, or you have self-confidence or all this stuff, it's truly all about being present and understanding, hey, I'm here on this planet. I don't know what I'm going to do with this life, but I'm just going to live it up. I'm going to be the best version of myself I can be, whatever that may be, and just, hey, whatever happens, I'm chilling. I mean, hey, I don't know if this helps at all. Hopefully it does. You start liking to do all stuff if you want, if anyone's even here. Have a nice day and peace out.